Part 60. The Emperor fainted after hearing Prince Duan kidnap news. Haha, I caught you. Lan Duo's voice sounded from behind, accompanied by a silver bell-like laughter. Ming Yu recovered from his thoughts and heard Lan Duo's voice asking, "What is Sister Yu doing?" Ming Yu has a headache. He has already hidden here. How could she still find him? Regarding the name of Sister Yu from Lan Duo, Ming Yu said that he was powerless to stop her. In the tribe, his identity is Baron's new daughter-in-law. Wearing it is also the traditional leather felt fur robe of the herdsmen in Shishi country, although the clothes of the herdsmen are similar to men and women. However, the colors of women's clothes are more gorgeous and delicate, plus colorful decorations, bells around the ring, and clothes on the head. The agate and pearls of the jade gave Ming Yu a headache. But he couldn't do anything. If she was found out, it would be himself who was unlucky. Lan Duo had already imitated Ming Yu's appearance, lying on his back on the grass with his hands on the pillow. Looking at the back of his head, she didn't understand. Isn't the sky full of blue sky and white clouds? Why is Sister Yu so devoted? Ming Yu has already sat up, he is a little funny. Why is this girl so curious about everything? Their tribe has begun to face north. It's been almost a month since we migrated, and we found a place with abundant water and grass. This summer, we don't have to worry about the fatness of cattle and sheep. The herdsmen are going to spend the spring and summer here, and they finally found a good place to settle down. They are unwilling to go anyway. I heard that going further north to Liang Country is very desolate, almost no one has been there, and they naturally don't plan to go there. Ming Yu and Xie Yisho were about to leave the tribe and go north alone. They had already found their excuses, and they said that the newlywed Yuer was going back to visit relatives. In the past month, Lan Duo has often come to look for Ming Yu. She likes this generous and forthright Sister Yu very much. The Han Chinese girls she had heard were all delicate and weak women who did not step out of the door. But this Sister Yu broke her inherent concept, spoke generously and elegantly, had a gentle temperament, and his temper and so on were all to her liking. And Sister Yu also knows a lot of things, and there are many strange stories. Since the last time she heard the stories that Sister Yu told the children of the tribe, she also liked it, and she often came to see Ming Yu, and Ming Yu also told her stories and so on. I've gotten to know him well once and for all, and the more I get to know him, the more I admire Ming Yu day by day. Ming Yu turned his head and asked with a smile, "How did you find it?" Lan Duo pursed her lips and looked at Ming Yu resentfully. "I heard that you are leaving, is it true?" My sister regarded her as his best friend. But she didn't expect that he was going to leave, and she still heard the news from other people's mouths, which made her a little sad. Ming Yu smiled, reached out and rubbed her head. "We just discussed and decided this morning. We were going to find you later to make it clear, but I didn't expect you to come over earlier." Hearing Ming Yu with that said, Lan Duo was finally a little happier. She just said, "Sister Yu is not such a person. But thinking that they are going to leave, I am still a little sad and a little reluctant." She pouted, feeling a little depressed. "I don't know when Sister Yu will be able to meet again after you leave. Lan Duo will miss you after you leave." Ming Yu still likes Lan Duo. This 14-5-year-old little girl is innocent, playful and cute, and has a lively temperament. Ming Yu really treats her as his sister. Silly girl. There is still a chance to meet again in the future. Ming Yu sighed. He was also a little reluctant to bear this little girl. He took off a piece of jade pendant he carried around his waist and handed it to Lan Duo. "I took this with me since I was a child and gave it to you. If you think of me, you can think of me when you see it." Lan Duo took it over and read it over and over a few times. It seemed that there were words engraved on it, but she didn't know it. So she silently put away the things, nodded, unwilling, and said reluctantly, "Sister can come back to see me in the future." "Of course, I will. When Lan Duo gets married. I still want to give you a marriage gift." Ming Yu joked with a smile. Women in this era got married relatively early, and now Lan Duo's family is already looking for a suitable person for her. After another 2 years, they can talk about marriage. Lan Duo blushed all of a sudden. She blamed Ming Yu for laughing at her indiscriminately, and reached out to scratch Ming Yu. How could Ming Yu let her succeed? It was easy to avoid it, and Lan Duo's worries about parting just now were gone, so she started making trouble. Xie Yisho, who had come from a distance, saw this scene. And his face immediately turned gloomy. Does Ming Yu know whether a man and a woman are inseparable? He took a few steps in a hurry, wanting to step up and pull the two away quickly. But halfway through, he hesitated again. The prince and this little girl have indeed gotten a little closer recently. Does the prince like her? The prince is different from him. If it is what he thinks, what should he do? However, as the prince of Dayan Country, Ming Yu could not possibly marry a woman from another country. However, it is precisely because as a prince, it is impossible not to inherit the lineage in the future, and the women around him will always appear. In the past, maybe it was because of his bad reputation, he was a foolish prince. And his mind was not on this. What about the future? Thinking that Ming Yu would have a gentle, beautiful and generous woman to accompany him in the future, Xie Yisho was in a panic. By that time, he should have stopped thinking about it in his heart. Xie Yisho stood not far away, watching the dazzling scene in front of him silently, but Lan Duo rolled her eyes inadvertently and saw him. Lan Duo stuck out her tongue playfully, and whispered, "Brother Baron is here, I'll go first." After she finished speaking, she turned over and got up, jumped and left. Ming Yu looked back to see Xie Yisho, stood up and asked with a smile, "Have you finished talking about your business?" Xie Yisho came over and nodded. His thoughts were entangled in his heart, so he had no intention of speaking. "Oh." Ming Yu understood, and asked casually, "So, when are we going?" "Tomorrow." Ming Yu felt that Xie Yisho was obviously in a bad mood, so he said, "What's wrong? What happened?" Xie Yisho shook his head, and the words rolled in his throat before saying, "Just now?" Ming Yu followed Xie Yisho's gaze and saw him staring at Lan Duo, who was walking away, smiled and said, "She is Lan Duo, a very cute little girl." "Yes. She is also very beautiful." Inexplicably, the words were a little sour. "Really?" Ming Yu looked at him and looked at Lan Duo's direction, his eyes narrowed slightly. Could this person like this kind of girl? It's a pity that Lan Duo is still too young to be a minor. But if General Xie likes it, he can follow this standard to help him look at it in the future. "Do you like him?" Xie Yisho asked coldly. "Ah, me? Like her?" Ming Yu, who suddenly heard this, was dumbfounded. "Yes. She is a very cute little sister." "Is it the kind of love that talks about marriage?" Xie Yisho asked recklessly, regretting the moment he said it. "What is he like?" Ming Yu, who was still thinking about how to match Xie Yisho's standard, was caught off guard by his question. "What is it? Why did you switch to talking about marriage?" Xie Yisho, who thought Ming Yu's default, had sinking his face. "She is always an alien woman, and the prince is the prince of Dayan Country, you too." "Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about marriage? Where does it go? I like her, just like my younger sister." As soon as these words came out, a big rock in Xie Yisho's heart fell to the ground, which was originally blocked. Panic mood suddenly brightened. "Really? Although the future is uncertain, Xie Yishuo was inexplicably happy about Mingyu's answer. All the negative emotions just now vanished, and it seemed as if the sun had cleared the clouds. In this world, only he can easily control and change his emotional ups and downs. Of course. It's true. Why am I lying to you? You can't talk nonsense in the future. Mingyu warned viciously, looking at Xie Yishuo's softened face. He couldn't understand why Xie Yishuo suddenly seemed to have changed. A big man, who is really the face of a child, will change when he says it. Xie Yishuo's lips curled slightly. In the future, you will always have a biological child. Many good-looking people may not always be the same. Hey, Mingyu waved his hand disdainfully. Is marriage a child's play? I am not the only one. For a superficial person who looks at the appearance, when two people are together, they have to agree in every aspect. It depends on fate, and it is too early to say this. Then, have you thought about what kind of person you will be with for a lifetime in the future? Is it? Xie Yishuo looked into his eyes and asked softly. Mingyu's eyes were shining. He turned his head to the side to think for a while, and frowned. I didn't think about it. I can't tell about fate. He had never thought about this issue before, but now it seems. This question troubled him a bit. In his own opinion, it is absolutely impossible for him to accept blind marriage and dumb marriage, and it is impossible for him to accept a stranger suddenly breaking into his life. Next, this is simply unimaginable. Two people's personalities, temperaments, and even their likes and dislikes must be completely compatible, so they must be speculative. If not, he would rather give up than give up. As for his identity, it is destined that his life event is not a trivial matter, but he does not want to be manipulated by others in his life. It seems that he still has to figure out a way to get out of the palace and come to this vast frontier just because he wants to be at ease and not be bound. He also doesn't want to be controlled by others in his future life, so he still has to find the emperor's father in advance for the next reassurance. Thinking of the emperor's father, Mingyu has a headache again. This time, his own affairs will be known by the emperor sooner or later. If the emperor is to blame for this, how should he comfort him at that time? Thinking of this, Mingyu shook his head. He didn't want to think about these bad things anymore. He avoided the topic and said, "Let's go. Go back and see what to prepare. This trip to the north must be fully prepared. After all, people are sparsely populated, and there may be beasts on the road, so there must be danger." Xie Yishuo looked at his back, and the expression in his eyes was hard to tell. That's it, just look at him from a distance. Naturally, the disappearance of the prince cannot be kept secret for a long time, and it is necessary to report it to the court. General Wei was already bald, and he simply stabbed his neck and went out of his way. Extending his head was a knife, and shrinking his head was also a knife. Hurry up and report the situation to the court. And wait for the result with anxiety. In the palace, the emperor almost fainted when he saw the report. Hearing the emperor's sudden announcement of the imperial physician, almost all the people in the palace were alarmed. The concubines, princes and princesses all came to visit. In the end, the emperor disappeared, so they all dispersed. But only let the Prince Mingyi in. Concubine Hui's teeth were itchy. She shook her sleeves and left angrily. However, the tree wanted to be quiet, but the wind continued. This time, the emperor suddenly fainted, and rumors spread about the reason for asking the imperial doctor in less than half a day. I heard that His Majesty Emperor was attacking Xichong Gate by the barbarians. Seeing that Xichong Gate could no longer be defended, and Liangcheng was in danger, His Majesty was so angry that he fainted. Where did you come from? The news? I heard that it was because the third prince was jealous of others and it spread to the emperor's ears. and he fainted. Nonsense, this kind of invisible thing can be spread blindly. How can it be spread blindly? Who doesn't know about the third prince? Back then, when he and the prince were jealous over a man, almost no one in the capital didn't know about it. Shut up. If it gets into the ears of the concubine Wei, you will have a little life. No more? Don't argue. I heard that the emperor's fainting had something to do with the stupid master. It seems that the master had an accident at the edge of the land. When everyone heard this, they all gathered around. They all asked about the news they didn't know. Is it true or false? Where did you get this news? Come and listen. Yes, yes. Come on. What happened to that prince? My son. As early as when he left the capital, some people said that this grandfather was really stupid. No one wants to get involved in the matter of going to the edge of the land. Is this okay? Tisk tisk. According to this, didn't this master give his life in vain? Hey, no wonder the emperor was fine before, but suddenly he was bad when he heard. When the rumors spread outside, the crown prince in Dayu Palace brought a bowl of soup and was feeding it to the emperor spoon by spoon. After drinking, the palace personnel took the things down. The emperor waved his hand and asked people to step back, leaving only the personal eunuch to wait. There was obvious anxiety on the emperor's face, and he sighed. Why are the barbarians so courageous? They dare to kidnap people in Liangcheng? Tell me, what is the purpose of the guard I sent to the old 14th? Father, don't be angry. The 14th brother will be fine. Ming Yi said comfortingly. It won't be a problem? It's not going to be a problem? The emperor became angry again, panting and scolding. No one is worry-free. There are tens of thousands of troops stationed in our border areas, and those people come and go. Freedom of action, hee hee. Good, that's good. This Wei Wuji is really useless. Ming Yi was also anxious. His 14th brother was kidnapped, and now he doesn't know his life or death, but he can't show it in front of his father, so he has to be appeased. The barbarians are cunning. No one would have imagined that they would do such a trick. The borderland still needs to rely on the Wei family, so please rest assured. The 14th brother is a man of great fortune and destiny, and he will return safely. You called me, how can you rest assured? My father doesn't believe in others. And you don't believe in Xie Yisho? He is a war general appointed by my father, and taking the enemy's life among the 10,000 troops is like taking things out of a bag. With Xie Yisho by his 14th brother's side, he will definitely be able to bring the 14th brother back safely. Ming Yi said. From the memorial, he already knew about it. And knowing that General Xie escaped with his 14th brother, there was hope. This is indeed a good word, and the emperor is also a little calmer, nodding his head. It would be great if we could escape safely. Otherwise, if the old 14 suffers a little bit of loss, I will definitely let the barbarians pay their debts with blood. Needless to say, everyone knew the Yi people's plan to kidnap Ming Yu, and if they were caught, they would use it as a bargaining chip to threaten the Dayan emperor, and the court would be in trouble. At that time, the emperor alone suppressed the voice of peace between the Imperial Court, and no one dared to touch the bad over the years. If the barbarians used Ming Yu to threaten. So, does the emperor agree or not? If he agrees, the tough policy of many years will fall short, but if he does not agree, who will dare to guarantee the safety of the 14th prince? Which will put the emperor in a dilemma. Now, I can only hope that Xie Yisho can bring Ming Yu back unharmed. The crown prince has drawn up a decree for me. And another 1,000 elite guards will be dispatched from the Imperial Guards to immediately go to the frontier to protect Prince Duan. The emperor decided directly. With this group of people, it is hoped that people can be rescued as soon as possible. Ming Yi was astonished. The imperial guards that the emperor mentioned were not ordinary guards, but the emperor's personal guards. These people were carefully selected from thousands of troops, and each of them could be unique. Pick a beam. The emperor sent over 1,000 people to Ming Yu, which is too unbelievable. This, Father Emperor, these are the elites of the Imperial Guards, and they are powerful people around Father. Wouldn't it be inappropriate to send them to the border guards to guard Prince Duan? If it spreads out, there will be an uproar in the court. Ming Yi obviously had some concerns. He could understand his father's mood at the moment, but if he did this, he was afraid that it would come true. How could a frontier prince use the emperor's personal bodyguard, so wouldn't it be wicked and scheming? Humph! I naturally know the consequences. According to the ancestral system, it is enough for the prince to escort 300 people. Didn't the old 14's 500 people also say that the number was too large and violated the system? Let's take a look at the situation in the border areas. It's getting more and more complicated. How can 500 people be enough? The addition of 1,000 people is not enough. If they want to say anything, just come to me. Why should I be afraid of others? Ming Yi had a headache, and the emperor's father became capricious. It can also be unreasonable. Seeing that the emperor had made up his mind, he did not dare to persuade him anymore, and could only make up the decree on his behalf. Anyway, the sky fell down and there was a tall one on it. And the father was attracting firepower in front. He also knew that the situation in the frontier was complicated. Those people could kidnap people under their noses. He could imagine how dangerous it would be. If the enemy sent assassins or something, he couldn't even imagine it. He also agreed with his father's statement that he sent elite guards. At least there are 1,000 elite guards, and the safety of the 14th can make people feel more at ease. Therefore, he just persuaded one sentence and did it according to his father's order. He didn't know why Ming Yu went to Liangzhou before, but now he understands a little of Ming Yu's mind. The plan Ming Yu said is a very long-term timeline. He was able to organize a caravan in such a short period of time, and successfully maximized the effect of the caravan. Ming Yu is following his plan step by step. And now he begins to believe what Ming Yu said. Walk out of a Silk Road, create a trade city, turn the former barren state into a state city that is not inferior to any state city in the south. Let the economy of Dayan Country take off, and let all nations come to the court. Ming Yu can do all this, and only he can do it. He had never thought about where Ming Yu's groundbreaking idea came from. Since he was a child, he has always been alone without talking or playing. And most of the time is in a daze. Is it just thinking about these fantasy, absurd and unrealizable things? Ming Yi knew that his thoughts were different from those of all the people in the world. Which was why he was regarded as a fool. When Ming Yu wrote to tell him about his plan, he also thought it was absurd at the beginning, then he was skeptical. And now he believes that Ming Yu can do it all. He really seemed to have been caught in a goal, and decided that only Ming Yu could do all this in this world. At that time, the two brothers, working together, will surely be able to create a prosperous century since the founding of Dayan Country. This will be an unparalleled splendor in the history of Dayan Country, which is unprecedented. This is what Ming Yu promised him, and he will wait and see.